Hello everyone, if you enjoyed this video, remember to smash that like button and subscribe to the channel. Time to plant some trees, sun is rising, spring is coming. Welcome to Ski Farms. Hello, Farm John here from Ski Farms, and here's day one of tree planting 2022. So we got our first group of trees, 1,000 Fraser fir P+2 trees. So a P+2 means that they were a plug plus 2-year transplant. So we're gonna open up this first box right here, see what they look like. So they're still nice and dry. The roots were moist, not dry. We'll pretend like that didn't happen. These are some beautiful trees. So this is a nice Fraser fir. You can see the roots are nice and good. And right here, when we plant a tree, quick explanation is you can see where the color changes. So this is the depth that we're going to plant the tree at. We're going to go out to the field and we're going to go prep the field, and stay tuned. Well, we'll try it. We'll see what happens. I should almost try it on the road. It'll be fine. Okay. I want to go slow. As you can see here, we're getting ready to mark the rows. I almost forget to lower the planter here. The reason there's no one on this planter is because we didn't have the big planter by this time, and this little planter can't plant these big trees. Since the roots are so long, the depth of the planter isn't big enough. So we're just using the planter so we can plant in a straight line. Here's our first tree of 2022. So we have our row made. We have our first hole drill. Now what I'm going to do, as John said earlier, I'm going to match up that color change from the base of the tree up to the trunk. That's going to be my depth. So I'm going to make sure all my roots are in the ground. Just like that. Put my dirt in, and off we go. 999 left to go. As you can see here, we had one person augering the holes while Joe and I planted. And then once we finished one row, it was time to mark the next row. So we got the tractor with the planter, marked the next row, see if it's straight. Ski Farms approved. After 2 evenings of hand planting after work, it was time to pick up the place. So I picked up the big tree planter from the Oconto County Forester. We usually hook it up to the tractor with the loader, but I got the tires wiring out so that tractor don't fit down the row. So we're gonna see if the little tractor can pick up this big old Jimmy Bean planter. We're about to find out. It's a beautiful Saturday morning, and we're gonna get ready to plant the last bit of our Christmas trees. A little bit about the water. So we filled up our pails and we put this Aquatane in it. And what Aquatane is a super absorbent polymer. So that way it's called a root dip. So as we put the trees in the pails on the way out there, they're dipped in this polymer that helps them absorb water and stimulate growth. Because you know, a tree goes under stress when it's transplanted from a nursery into a field. So as you can see, we got 7.5 boxes left, about 750 trees. We're gonna keep them in the barn. It's kind of nice and cool in there. We'll haul them out back and forth with the Ranger. And then, you know, because we got to work tomorrow, we kind of hooked up the tree planter to get her going fast this morning. So what this does, it's got the spade, it's got the shove back there, and then you're just going to plant the tree in the middle. I'll show you some videos about it. And then the question of the day is, can this tractor handle this tree planter? We're about to find out, so stay tuned. The main theory is if it can go slow enough. And also, this is a pretty heavy-duty planter. They make a 2-seater and a 1-seater. We got the 2-seater, so stay tuned.
Six, 7, 8, 9, 11, 13. 2021, 101. I'm probably calling 101. That's perfect. Yeah. There, that'll be good. 1 box per row. Open 1 box at a time. Yeah. We can just put Does he need a blanket or something?
Now that we're all loaded up and ready to head out to field, it's time to see how this big tree planter works. In the next video, you will see us using the tree planter. As you can see, we're pretty much ready to go. I grabbed the tree from Jill. I look at the roots. You want to make sure all the roots are facing down. Yeah, they are.
Uh-huh.
I set it in there to the correct depth. I signaled to my father we're ready to go. The stick and the orange rope helps me with the spacing of the trees. And off we go. One tree down. Jill hands me the next one. The next one goes in. All right, stop a second.
So like an extra 1 foot.
Well, I made the string shorter. It's just the main thing with the stick. If you want to grab the stick quick and go from the tops of each tree to see how we're doing. So now we're going to double check my spacing skills, and you're going to hear my mother's famous words of fine.
Fine.
So just a hair close. Okay, that's good to know. Perfect. Okay. Rexy decided to jump on the planter and ride instead of walking. I don't blame him. Alright, you're recording. Now you're going to get to see the tractor driver's point of view. As the operator climbs aboard the Case 570, he gets as comfortable as possible because he's just going to have to drive as straight and slow as he can. He looks back. You can see my mom's trying to get that tan. Sun's out, guns out. I signal we're ready to go. He fires up this 38 horsepower gasoline powered engine. Adjust the 3-point arms for the height of the planter, and off we go, slow and steady. Besides driving as straight as possible, the tractor driver has to make sure the planter is at the correct depth since the change is going up downhill. When we're going up a hill, he has to lower the planter a little bit, and when we're going downhill, he has to raise it up just a tad bit. And it looks like the field is relatively flat, which it is, but we go through kind of a dip at the bottom, so it takes a little bit of technique to get used to. Every so often, the tractor operator will look back at us, make sure everything's going well planting, which it is, and also to see how many trees we have in case we run out so you can be prepared to stop. So the Case 570 couldn't lift the planter out of the ground, but luckily I ate my Wheaties. Here you can see Rexy loves chilling in the back of the Ranger, but is never happy when we leave him going down the next row. Here's a rear view look of us planting. As you can see, I plant a tree, it passes through those two wheels that are at a 45-degree angle. What that does is it tries to help close up the hole around the tree. But after we get done planting, we had to step in around the trees. As you can see, the dogs were exhausted. It was pretty warm out that day. Will is running around. He don't care. All done planting for the day. Time to wash the planter and grease it. Well, sun's setting. We completed our planting for today. So today we accomplished planting 750 trees. This was the first row. So the past 2 days we planted these with the auger, as you kind of saw in some of the photos and videos. We were able to get the exact spacing and the exact depth every time. But to increase the efficiency, you can see these rows down here, we went with the planter. So this was also with the auger, but then we hit with the tree planter with the big orange 2-seater. We were able to increase efficiency twice as fast. Able to fit right down the rows. What's nice about doing a system like this is that we know each row has exactly 100 trees. So come next spring, we can go down the row, count how many trees, and we can see percentage wise how many made it. Versus last year, when we skipped around and we planted trees here and there, Granted, we had a dry spring last year and a lot died. We don't know the exact numbers. So this way we can manage it more efficiently and see how our numbers are doing with the trees. So it was a very beautiful day today. We got all the trees planted we wanted to. As you can see, we go down the rows. And also this utilizes more of the land space. So we figure that as these trees grow up, we'll be able to harvest these trees. And then that way these trees will be about waist high in a couple years. And we'll be good to go. Thanks everyone for watching. Be sure to like the video and subscribe to the channel. Also, let us know if you have any questions in the comments.